Yo, what's good with y'all? We live. We are live. It's been about like a week or something, you know. And in this live stream, we're going to talk about how life is pretty much your guru. You know, before you had gurus in the physical plane, you simply just had life. We got to think, who was the first guru of all gurus? You know, it was life. Life itself teaches you things, which you can share with other people, and then you eventually can become a guru. Someone like me, I don't want to be a guru. You feel me? I want to be a regular guy. But I do like to learn from life. You know, I like to be a student of the teachings of life, since life can teach you many different things, you know, by just living. We're going to get all into that. So, to chat up. Yo, what's popping? Yo, what's good? What's good with y'all? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? How y'all feeling? Yo, what's good, Red Flame? It's good, Red Flame. Yo, tell me why. All is well. I'm glad to hear that. Yo, tell me why, right? So before I do these live streams, I typically put out a poll. I'm like, yo, we going live at this time. Y'all gonna pull up? Usually I just put like yes or no, right? Essentially. This time I added a third option. The third option says F you, Genie. Why did somebody actually pick that? Niggas saying F me. Someone actually said F you, Genie. Yo, what's popping, Jaden? What's good, my guy? Yo, I gotta hit you back on some research stuff. You know what I'm saying? I peeped that you sent me the other John. You feel me? And it looked pretty good. I bet you respond to you. You know what I'm saying? I just been thinking about some other things though. But yeah, this is gonna be a pretty dope video. Jaden like, yeah. Jaden that guy. Yeah, nah, I'm saying Jaden that guy. Yeah, bro. I want to know who said F me though. I ain't gonna lie. Who said F Genie? Like, I'm gonna put that option there. Someone, I'm like, let me give someone the room to express themselves. But I wish I knew who it was though. I like, damn, why is fuck me though? Was it like was it a joke or is it really F me? Why is it F me? You know what I'm saying? But then again, I did give the option, so I can't be surprised. That's the way that you put it, right? Yeah. Also, if y'all don't know, it was my birthday recently. Your boy is older now. You know what I'm saying? Your boy is older. I peeped that. I was gonna comment, delete that option. LOL. I'm dead. Hey, I'm like, let me see if someone actually says this. My girl's just sitting like, why'd you put that? Yo, what's up? I'm glad that you are able to catch the live stream. Yeah, I'm gonna let a few more people pull up. Then we're going to talk about how life is your guru and how life will naturally initiate you and how there's different intelligences that exist within the field of creation that will try to initiate you in various different ways. You know what I'm saying? I might even break down different kinds of initiations if niggas want to really get spicy with it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, there's different initiations based upon what principle is choosing to initiate you. But certain principles have different kinds of initiations. Hello. Yo, what's popping? Nubiana. That's a hard name. Nubiana. That's hard. I like that. If you give people the chance to, yeah, seem like it, right? Well, shit. Hold on. I'm gonna give someone the chance to wire me $1 million. Can someone take that choice? You know what I'm saying? Can somebody do that? You feel me? Yo, what's good? Shout out to Poland. Shout out to Poland. 10 p.m. over there. Shout out to Poland. I'm gonna make sure I get to the topic soon. I don't want to keep you up too long. I was initiated by mushrooms. Yeah. The mushrooms do have their own intelligence that will initiate you. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. Shrooms can initiate you, and shrooms can open you up to other intelligences that will initiate you also. You know, you remember, yo, birthday was the 25th, right? I can't say if it was or wasn't. You feel me? I can't say if it was or wasn't, but it was on the 25th, and it is possible that me and that girl have the same birthday. You know what I'm saying? I can't confirm or deny, right? What day? I can't confirm or deny what specific day it was. I'll just by Gaia. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm explaining what initiate means, right? Yeah. The Earth can definitely initiate you. Technically, if you're on Earth right now, you're going through that initiation. Technically, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, and there's also different intelligences within the Earth that can initiate you. So yeah, I feel you on that for sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we why you moving like that? Because bro, you can't let people know your specific date and time of birth and stuff like that. Like if I wanted to be an evil bastard, I could look at your birth chart and finesse you. Granted, you're not gonna finesse me, but I'm also not gonna give you the chance to finesse me. It's like even if you had my shit, I'm not worried about it, but like I'm not even going, we're not even gonna get to that point. You feel me? Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? We're not even gonna get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Facts. You feel me? Um, but yeah, I'm a man of secrecy. I will say that in Vedic astrology, I have the rising sign of a Scorpio, and them niggas be secretive. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I'm a little secretive. You know what I'm saying? At least when it comes to personal stuff. You feel me? Y'all most y'all don't even know my real name. You feel me? Shit could get parasocial. You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't even know my real name. Right? They'll call me Genie or Dot. You feel me? That makes sense for you again, not gonna lie. I feel you, that's my rising. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? Yeah. Feel me? Feel me? I bet. I think we can start getting into. We got 15 people here, but only 7 likes though. So y'all know what I'm gonna do. Can we get them extra 8 likes? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask it again real quick because I know some of y'all gonna hear that and not like it. Can you please go ahead and like it? You know what I'm saying? You don't like using 13 side astrology? I use Western and Vedic, and I guess they just don't happen to include the 13th sign. But no, I don't do that. No. The thing is, here's how I would view it, right? You are the 13th sign. See, you are the source that has these different qualities that you're supposed to master. You feel me? So it's like I'm not about to use a system that includes the 13th sign when literally me as a person, you are the 13th sign. You are Ophiuchus and you're mastering all 12 qualities of yourself. You feel me? It's kind of like trying to pray to the source when you literally are the source. Like you are the source with 12 qualities. You feel me? Yo, what's popping? But I'm not against 13 sign astrology. You feel me? Because even though I've been using astrology and stuff like that, like I always like to go beyond that. But I ain't gonna lie, with my recent coaching I started doing, you feel me? I'm gonna release to the public very soon. The 1 month coaching, I do use astrology for that, and it's really good. I think I put that program together really fucking good. I can't wait to release that to the greater public. In fact, do y'all want me to talk about that or just get to the video? You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna just get to the video, but we can talk about that later. Later in the video, I'll bring up shit that's coming for the collective and shit. You feel me? But yeah, now it's 18 people, 12 likes. Can I get them extra 6 likes? And we're gonna hop right into this. You know what I'm saying? Let me get them extra 6 likes. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing with your boy. And if you're watching the replay too, you not safe, nigga. If you're watching the replay, you not safe. Can I get that like, please? You know what I'm saying? Just support your boy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me get that. If you ain't give me a birthday gift, this is gonna be my birthday gift. It was just my birthday. Let me get that birthday gift. Come on now, stop playing. But yeah. So today's topic. At some point, I'm gonna do a video about divine darkness. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for that one because niggas don't know what that is, and I want to talk about what that actually is. You feel me? Divine darkness, not divine evil, right? Because there's no such thing, right? No such thing as divine evil. Divine darkness, though, yeah. But we get to that later. Let's talk about how life is your guru. So, what is a guru? We can look at the Google definition or just say how I would say it. A guru is like a spiritual teacher that helps you to walk in the same graces as them. And I appreciate you, Jennifer. And I said it like that. That's your restaurant score. That's what's up. But I said it like that because gurus technically can help you to tap in with your spirit, but more specifically, your guru has become a master in a certain dimension of reality, a certain aspect, because dimensions are aspects also, in a certain aspect of reality, and they're now helping you to walk in that same mastery. And this is why you have different kinds of gurus, right? You might say that you have spiritual gurus versus other kind of gurus, right? You know, like in modern day times, they make the joke. If you're good at cooking, you're like you become a cooking guru. You know what I'm saying? But Yeah, it's someone that has obtained a certain level of mastery in a certain area of life, and they're trying to help you achieve that same level of mastery. Now, more specifically, I am focusing on the spiritual aspect, gurus that help you to walk in your spirit. Understand, though, that before you had humans that were gurus, you just had humans that were living their life and eventually encountered certain things that allowed them to obtain a higher understanding of who they are and what creation is. Whether they learned that from just getting a download or they might have left their body and then had a being tell them, whatever it is, reality itself will initiate you. Even the beings that you might encounter out of your body, they are a part of the aspect of reality that is choosing to initiate you. What is an initiation? Kind of want to do Google for this one. Although I can explain it, I'm getting a strong urge that the Google definition is important for me to look at. Initiation, initiate definition. So the word initiate, yeah, so I was gonna say pretty much. To start something, teach the basics, or let someone join the group. I like that I looked that up because it simply means to start something. See, I was gonna say that when you get initiated, you are beginning a certain kind of path, which is true. You feel me? And in this context, it's going to be like a spiritual path, right? For spirituality. You see, living life itself will eventually make you walk a spiritual path. I'm just fixing my chat stuff real quick over here. All right, about. So, yeah. Now, how does this actually happen? Why? How does life initiate you? How's this even possible? Because life is intelligent. There is intelligence that underlies all of reality. Intelligence is actually a dimension. A dimension is an aspect of something, but it's also a measurable extent, or really, yes, a measurable extent. More specifically, it's a part, it's something that makes up reality, which you can measure. That's what a measurable extent is, something you can actually measure. And dimensions are specific things that make up reality, which you can measure. Intelligence makes up reality, and you can measure it by how much or how little something knows. You see, even atoms have intelligence. If you have been watching me for a while and you consistently watch my videos, you already know this by now, but let's break it down. Intelligence is the ability to know something. Understand that atoms have intelligence. When hydrogen bonds with oxygen, it's only able to do that because it knows how to do that. It might not be conscious of what it's doing, but it's still able to do it. Like hydrogen and oxygen are not saying, I'm hydrogen, I want to bind with you, oxygen. Like they're not doing all that now, but they have the natural innate intelligence to know how they can bond together to form certain molecules. You see? That's intelligence. And intelligence underlies everything. Intelligence is not produced by the brain. The brain just processes intelligence, but the intelligence itself always existed. It's kind of like a computer chip. Like your AI, right? At some like you have a computer chip inside your phone that helps to process information on your phone. But the information itself, the intelligence itself came from somewhere else. Someone had to program that intelligence into your phone. And then the computer chip is processing that. Same with your brain. Now, I bring this up because since life is intelligent, life has a certain, or let me say it like this intelligence, the intelligence of life itself operates through all of life. The reason why the universe expands is because the universe is increasing its intelligence. That's one way you can see that. Now, some people might say that it's not expanding, whatever. I don't really care. But when you're inside this creation, that's how it looks. It looks like shit's expanding because intelligence is constantly growing by the second. Now, intelligence is produced by what? Consciousness, or I'll just say awareness specifically, because consciousness is a state of awareness. Awareness is the ability to perceive. As you perceive something, you gain a knowledge of that thing. Now, I bring up this underlying field of awareness because awareness is the ability to perceive. this intelligence that moves through reality can be perceived. It can be perceived and it also can perceive itself. See, there's various different layers of intelligence in creation. The intelligence inside of atoms are not conscious, right? It's just this information that moves through atoms. But the intelligence that flows through you, you can become conscious of that. And there's also different intelligences in creation that can become aware of you, that can perceive you. Although there's one, I keep hitting my microphone. Although there's one great intelligence, that great intelligence splits itself off into smaller forms of intelligence. Think about this as like deities. You see, imagine that you have the one true God, but then the one true God splits itself off into various smaller gods. Those are like deities that you see inside of different spiritual systems. Now, these deities have the ability to interact with you. These intelligences that make up creation have the ability to interact with you. Now, they're not beings in the same way that you're a being, but they can interact with you with this with a sense of sentience. You see, right now you have a body, soul, and spirit, right? You are the body, soul, spirit complex. They don't have that. They don't have like a soul, right? At most, you can say that they have a spirit, but it's not the same as your spirit. You see, your spirit is an eternal spirit. It's a spirit that can embody all aspects of source. The spirit of different deities is programmed to function in specific ways, though. You see, your spirit can function however it wants to, which is why your spirit makes a soul, because your soul is a specific potential of your spirit. Your spirit can access infinite potential, but your soul focuses a small portion of that potential into creation. With the deity, you can say they have a spirit, they have an intelligent energy, but their spirit is programmed to function a certain kind of way. So, for example, you have earth deities like Geb, right? Geb is an earth deity. Although a lot of earth deities are feminine, the Egyptians made their earth deity masculine. Now, that principle only operates within the domain of earth and is only programmed to do not just earthly things, but the earth itself deals with the principle of constriction and condensation. That is what this intelligence deals with. You see, this intelligence is not going to teach you certain things. Like what you learn from the intelligence of, let's say, Nut, which is the opposite, the heavens, it's different from what you learn from Geb. These are different intelligences that make up creation, but they also exist inside of you. And when you begin to tap into certain parts of yourself, you also invoke that intelligence outside of yourself. And now that intelligence begins to interact with you. Even if you don't know about deities, deities can still influence you because these deities are not like these random beings. No, it's simply just different intelligences, different principles that make up reality that exist inside of you and outside of you. Let me read some comments. How does bro meditate to get rid of a lot of karma and learn lessons faster and speed up evolution? Um, watch my video about karma. You know what I'm saying? Because getting rid of karma is different than learning lessons faster. Because learning lessons could be a part of karma. Because karma is not this like good or bad thing. It just means action, right? Like every time you do an action, you're creating karma, whether it's good or bad. You see, getting rid of karma is done by detaching from identity. And yeah, you pretty much detach from the identity of being the person who's doing something. Now, and I have although I have a whole playlist on YouTube that explains what karma actually is. On Patreon, I have playlists that go along. I have PowerPoints that go along with that video, which talk about how to actually change your karma and how to clear your karma. Now, learning lessons faster, that's a bit different. You could say becoming more aware of certain lessons, being willing to learn. That's a different thing from clearing karma. They are just representations of that consciousness. Yeah, deities are different aspects of deities. you can say represent different aspects of the source, different aspects of the one true God. The one true God has several different qualities, but it can be split off into these specific qualities. Same with the zodiac, right? Ophiuchus, the 13th, is the combination of all the zodiac signs, but Ophiuchus can split itself into 12 different aspects of itself. Same with the sun and the planets. Imagine that the sun is producing the energy, or imagine that the sun is the source and that the planets are different aspects of the sun's energy. That's low key a gem if you want to get into certain astrological understandings, where you recognize that the sun is the source of energy, which is being, or the sun is like a source of pure energy, and the planets are transducers for that energy, which shine different aspects of that sun's light. Now, with that being said, though, let's talk about different kinds of initiations that one could go through from different deities. Let's talk about Anubis, aka Papa Legba, if you're a Haitian, or Elegua if you're practicing Santeria. Um, what's another crossroads deity? I'm kind of blanking. I think a Nazi, which is dang it, is a Nazi Nigerian or Ghana? Yikes. For my Africans, I'm sorry, but a Nazi has principles that that deity has principles that are also a part of Anubis, Papa Legba, and Eligua. I bring this up though because that initiation deals with pure discernment. Inside your life, you're going to be thrown many different things that are testing your discernment. You might be walking through certain illusions side. You might be walking through certain illusions in your life, but things keep happening which make you perceive the illusory nature of a thing. You might be guided. You might recognize that as you tap into that energy, even if you don't try to tap into it on purpose, right? You'll begin to notice naturally that if you are aligning with that principle inside of yourself, it's kind of bringing you to eventually recognize what is of your spirit versus what is of the body. You see, your soul's kind of in between. Your soul is like a swing vote. I love that terminology of your soul being a swing vote. I got that from my boy Nelson at Cave of Mystery. That's a perfect explanation because your soul is caught in the middle. Does your soul want to observe and follow the body, or does the soul want to observe and follow the spirit? Elegua or Anubis or Papalegua is helping you to do that. And the situations you get put inside of don't have to be inherently negative, but they can be if you have been living a life of illusion for super duper long. It's like once you begin to consider, or once you begin to think like, who am I? Why am I here? This principle naturally begins to activate to a certain degree. There's also another principle, baby Heru. See, Heru itself is a principle of the higher self, but there's different versions of Heru. Baby Heru is the awakening of your spiritual aspiration. This is what activates as you get guided by Anubis or Papa Legba or Eligua. As you build that discernment, you begin to recognize what is real and what is fake, what is of your spirit, what is of the body. Because of that, because you actually see the truth and you recognize that, oh, this body shit is an illusion and this spirit stuff is more aligned with truth, you begin to choose the truth. And now your spiritual aspiration begins. Spiritual aspiration is the desire to become spiritual, it's the desire to become of your spirit. That comes more with discernment. When you go through that kind of awakening, you'll feel a sense of drive, energy to want to just learn certain things. It's kind of like when people had first got their awakening. A lot of people, they awakened through something traumatic, though. They went through something traumatic where they had to learn who to trust, what to actually follow, what to believe. They went through that stuff. That was Anubis, Papa Legua, Eligua stuff. Once they sorted that out, they said, okay, bet I know I got to become of the spirit now. And now they have this drive to want to do that. But when that happens, you need to activate Heru Behudet too. This is the part of yourself that is willing to overcome the ego, because you could have spiritual desire, but if you're not willing to face your inner demons, your shadows, you cannot do that at all. Right now, I'm actually explaining the process of the committed tree of life. I have a whole entire course about this on my PayHib, which you don't inherently need it, because whether you want to take the course or not, you're gonna go through that initiation anyway. You'll just call it different things. Even if you never perceive Anubis, baby Heru Behudek, doesn't really matter. Let's say you're just leaving your body, right? In the beginning of leaving your body, you might have experiences that are trying to get you to see the truth versus the illusion. As you do that, you start seeking more truth. As you start seeking more truth, you are willing to do things to overcome lower parts of yourself that distort the truth. These things happen naturally inside your life. Whether you're aware of the principles or not, you naturally activate them inside yourself, and they also activate outside of you. Now you'll actually begin to meet people who inside of their normal life, they're just like a regular person. But when they interact with you, it's like they're showing up as a certain principle for you. You meet a certain person, and guess what? That is Set knocking at your door. You see, Set is the deity of the ego. And when you're going through an initiation from Set, boy, that ego is getting put on tan. But you're also learning how to actually draw power from your ego and not fall victim to your ego. Set is a very necessary energy. In fact, Set is what keeps you alive. There's a reason why Set is seen as being at the base of the spine with Nebathet, because it deals with your survival instincts. The same survival instincts that keep you alive can be the same survival instincts that if you let them overtake you, you start acting like an animal, doing animal stuff that isn't the best for yourself or other people around you. All like people talk about like y'all ever seen the whole red pill culture, alpha male, beta male? That's some animal shit. I want to be the alpha. That's some animal shit. Set has taken over pretty much. The thing is, when you work with Set properly, you start to see your ego, start to see your character, and you become less attached to it. And then you start to think, okay, how can I make my character become an authentic expression of my soul? And how can I also use my survival instincts to keep myself alive? Because the urge to want to work out and get strong, that's a good thing. You know, you might want to be healthy and get stronger and stuff like that. Set is what is helping you to do that. You see, if you was tapping in with Osiris, you're not really going to care, because Osiris deals with the soul. You're not going to really care about building the body and stuff like that. But if you want to build your body, get healthy, take care of yourself, that deals with Set. But you're going to also encounter people that might trigger your ego, but in a way where you're meant to stick up for yourself. So people might start overstepping your boundaries. And you think, oh, it's wrong to be aggressive sometimes, and da da da. But really, you need to learn how to be more aggressive sometime, at least in that area where people overstep your boundaries. You say, hey, nigga, don't do that. Yeah. Sometimes things will be put in your life to trigger you, to make you actually act in your power and say, stop doing that. But guess what? There's other times, like with Anubis, where some people might trigger you, but you're not meant to say, nigga, fuck off. Instead, you were meant to realize that you're only getting triggered because you have this illusion inside your mind of whatever it is, and that's causing you to get triggered. It's kind of like, let's say that you were just walking at the park, right? Just walking down the street, and then you just hear people laughing, you know? You're like, they're laughing at me, fuck those people. Whole entire time, their friend just cracked a crazy joke on the phone, and that shit was hilarious, and they not thinking nothing about you. So there are some triggers that you'll feel that try to get you to realize that, hey, that shit in your head of, why are they laughing at me? You're actually tripping right now. You see, you actually have a wound from your childhood when people laughed at you, and now you think everyone's laughing at you. That's not what's happening. Calm down. You see? Yeah. Let me look at the John. Yo, why niggas keep sounding like John Morant? You're not the only person that said that. What the hell? I do not look like no job. I don't look like John Morant. Here to support, appreciate you. 100. Genie, if this earthly realm is also a planet, does that mean every planet on Earth is its own indigenous realm? Or nah? So the way that you, all right. So the earthly realm just refers to the physical realm. You see, although we call it earth, although we call it earthly, that's just because we're on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like if let's say you were able to fly to another planet physically and then land on that planet physically. Let's say you were able to do that. At that point, you still be inside of what they call realm one, which is just the physical, the densest layer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What's the difference between the astrological aspects and deity? I'm sorry, I still don't get it. Um, do you mean like okay? So do you mean like what's the difference between like Leo versus like a deity? If that's what you mean, there technically isn't a difference. They're both principles. Leo could be seen as its own deity. In fact, the planets have deities for them, right? You know what I'm saying? Like how Mars is tied to Aries, the Greek god Aries, you know what I'm saying? Kronos is Saturn, you know? Like the planets have deities for them. You know what I'm saying? Like they're actually isn't a difference. It's pretty much speaking to the same things, different principles of creation. And there's different levels of deities too, right? Some deities are grander and have more power because that principle is encapsulating more things. So imagine like you have actually, here's a good example. A few nights ago, I was in the astral plane and I was at this park that's right near my crib. And I had an experience where this lady came out the river and she told me to call her Mallard. And she was pretty much explaining that she's like a spirit of the river in a way. And by the way, Mallard is a species of ducks. So she's like the spirit of those ducks. And the ducks are like a physical representation of the spirit that has dominion over that part of the water. Some people might consider that a river deity, right? And if you get in good with that deity, you'll have more control over the water. You know, although she seemed more like it was weird because although she came out the water as if she was a being, it felt like she wasn't just a being. You know what I'm saying? Like, and here's what I mean about how deities can manifest themselves in various different forms as if they are entities, right? Like, for example, Nut is the deity of the heavens. So any being, any heavenly being that manifests himself in a certain form, you could say that that's just Nut appearing in a certain form. Same with how you had different priests and priestesses that would align with different deities. If you were like a priestess for Isis, you embodied that intelligence, and now you are a physical representation of Isis. It seemed like it was the same with that being I talked to, and I say it like that because somebody might consider that like a river deity. But aside from just like a river deity, you have the deity of all waters of creation. Like you have specific water deities that have dominion over every single body of water. So that deity has more power. And technically, every other river deity would be a part of that greater water deity. You see? How do we get caught up in these characters we play? Like, why would a soul come here to be creepy perverted? Or like a soldier mob boss, like your soul sees characters playing it? Not inherently. No, you just identify with shit. So like you might have came here and your goal was not to be a creep, but you started to identify with the body. You identify with certain urges of the body, and because you identified with that shit, you acted from it, and now you're acting like a creep because your body is being creepy. Like let's say that you're stalking girls. That's probably something with your body going on there. You know what I'm saying? And as souls, since we forget who we are, we start to identify with lower parts of our being. So, do these intelligence come with the creations of plants and constant and things, or is this made by people? Think no, 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 no. For example, with Earth, right? Earth has its own intelligence, right? That intelligence gets personified as a deity. The only reason why the earth was able to form is because there's an intelligence behind earth that helps it to form. You see? People just personified that intelligence. And then because people personified certain intelligences and people forgot that these were just symbolic personifications, some people did start to worship the symbol, and that created an egregore. So some deities you interact with will be egregores, even if that deity was supposed to represent a specific intelligence in creation. But that's only because there's people that ended up worshiping the symbol and forgot about what the symbol represented. And because they worshiped the symbol and people collectively did that, that symbol became an actual being. It became an egregore that was formed from other people. I can see why they say you look like him. I think it's because of the head shit, the beard, goatee, the dress, your skin tone different. Word. Shout out John Morant. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, there's 31 people inside the live stream, but I only got 22 likes. Can I get them extra 9 likes? You know what I'm saying? Can I get the extra 9 likes? You feel me? Can I get that? You know what I'm saying? And for the one that's like, oh, he just said that he don't really need the like. I need that like. Let me get that. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Hello. Um, I agree. So does that mean all the planets in this universe exist within the same physical realm? And that other universes or constructs have their own versions of physical reality? That last part, no. This is the only construct, quote unquote, that has a physical plane. That's what makes it so important. Most other constructs, the lowest they go down to is the astral, which is why through the astral plane you could connect with other quote unquote constructs. um by the way, the terminology which you're using is not typical terminology that I like to use because it can make things complicated, right? So let's just put it like this: if you're able to see a planet, it is existing in the physical plane. You know what I'm saying? um in a way. Well, yeah, actually, it is. I say in a way because you can visit planets that don't exist physically, but you typically cannot see those planets in the physical plane, right? So if you see something in the physical, it's in the physical plane. It's also inside of what people call realm one. You know what I'm saying? But there's other things. Actually, let me be more specific. If something is made out of atoms, it is in the physical realm. Okay. If something is made out of atoms, it's in the physical realm. So planets that are made out of atoms in the physical realm. You know what I'm saying? All in the physical realm, right? But those planets can also have life that exists in higher planes. So you can actually visit certain planets physically and then see nothing there. But if you go there in the astral, it's full of life because some beings live on higher frequencies of that planet. They live in higher layers of reality that still inhibit the same space or that still inhabit the same space of that planet. I know it's probably way more widespread. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, a lot of like a lot of if you a lot of the grand water deities, it's all the same principle. You know what I'm saying? Just different cultures personified them differently, you know? Even when you look at like certain deities and then like Haitian culture, a lot Haitian like what Haitians practice that mainly formed during slavery in times of war. I bring this up because they invoked the same principles, just lower aspects of those principles. So like with a water deity, you might invoke it so that way it could rain. But in a time of war, you invoke it to flood your enemy. That's what like Haitians and stuff like that did. Like people in Santeria, like a lot of these cultures formed during a time of war. So they engage the same principles, just the lower forms of those principles. Right now, you can say I'm one person. But I could be nice or I could be mean. Depending on the situation, I'm gonna invoke my nice side. Other situations, I might gotta get a bit mean. You feel me? Facts. Um, what are your thoughts on magic? Magic is simply just directing your intention and your energy to receive a certain or to manifest a certain event or to materialize something. To pretty much you are directing your intention and your energy in order to generate something, you know? And then you could charge your intention and use other energies to amplify your intent in order to manifest what you want. So that's when you start getting herbs and crystals and shit. You're just taking other sources of energy and then adding it to what you intend to do anyway. Which now you're getting into sorcery in the sense that you're sourcing energy from other objects. That's how I define sorcery, at least, you know. Um, Shout out to these deities for sure. Life is a teacher for sure. Yeah, and different parts of life will teach you, you know. And that was like the basic, just what I wanted to say. I might say some more things in a little bit, but like I want you to also just, you know, if you have any questions, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Because I do want this to be a period of time where like, because I've been getting a lot of comments on my YouTube, and no offense, but some of y'all, like first of all, I love when y'all comment. I do want to say that, and keep on commenting because y'all give me video ideas for sure, right? But I cannot always type out a long response to all your comments. So if you do it during the live stream, I can answer it. I want to go live. The days I'm gonna go live the most are Mondays and Fridays. I want to go live maybe like every Friday, and then maybe even like every Monday, you know. Monday's a bit more up in there. I think Friday's gonna be like more of like a we'll do it, you know what I'm saying? But like Fridays and Mondays are the best times for me to go live. You know what I'm saying? So, and I typically go live at like 4 p.m. nowadays. So like if y'all ever have questions, just try to catch one of the live streams. You know what I'm saying? Um, what's my problem, bro? Why am I having trouble knowing my purpose? Didn't I think we actually didn't we cover some of that in the last stream? But I mean, I would say this: you like so having trouble knowing your purpose just deals typically with certain blocks in your mind because your purpose is simply just why you do what you do, right? Like you just want to know like what you want, like to find your purpose. All you do is ask like what you want to do, right? Like me, I want to do this, that's why I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? To find your purpose, that's all you have to do. Just do what you want to do. But what blocks that is other people's opinions and not other people's opinions and not trusting yourself, essentially. Like deep down inside, we all know what we want to do, but like other people's opinions begins to influence us. Sometimes we identify with certain desires of the body rather than actually what our soul wants to do, you know. These different blocks prevent you from finding your purpose, you know. But it gets simple where it's just like gang. You just gotta really just ask what you want to do and then do it. You feel me? People just oftentimes don't know who they are than what they want to do. So the first step is to find out who you are and then find out what you want to do, right? You know what I'm saying? But Jesus is real. Yeah. When it comes to, but not, but so when this person brought up, because I did see that comment when this person brought up Jesus, there are a lot of egregores that will say, "I'm Jesus, worship me," right? Like Yeshua, right? The actual name was probably your real soul. You feel me? But like all these different, like even with how Jesus looks with the long hair and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? That's not what bro actually looked like. Those are just egregores that people started to form and worship and shit. What's your favorite realm? I don't really have one. Um, I would say a favorite plane, but I don't even have a favorite plane. My favorite planes, though, are like planes 7 and 9. I like those a lot. But I like other ones too. Like I like plane 8 every here and there. I get in my bag sometimes with plane 8, you know what I'm saying? Plane 6 is pretty dope too. Plane 5 is pretty dope. Plane 3 is I do like plane 3 a lot actually. That's the astral plane. And I do like when we're able to have form but not be bound to our form. Because that's the astral. See, people see the thing is when we leave our body, right? We think that like when you leave your body, we want to do all these different things because we are coming from the physical, stepping into the astral. A lot of other beings came from plane number 5 and they went down to plane number 3 inside the astral because they wanted to take on form and experience form. That's why you'll leave your body and there's people doing regular mundane shit because that's what the astral plane was created for, to take, so that way souls can take on form and experience what it's like to have form and interact with form, right? It's just that since we're so bound to, since we in the physical plane are bound to our form, what begins to happen is that we leave our body, and because we're not limited to form, we want to do all this extra shit, which isn't a bad thing. It's just that you'll notice that people in the astral plane, some of them live like it's physical reality because to them that's what they wanted to do. You feel me? It's like living in physical reality without actually being physical. You can perceive these deities mentally, visually, and etherically, right? Is that the farthest perception, or do they also sit on higher densities? Nah, you can perceive. It depends on the deity, really. Like with Geb, right? Although Geb is a deity of the earth, so let's say Geb was like only a deity of the earth, right? You would say that, oh, well, then Geb can only be perceived like when you have earth, right, in the universe. But Geb is also a principle of condensation itself. That principle exists really in all the planes because the planes get denser and denser and denser. That's able to happen because the principle of Geb. You know what I'm saying? Nut is a principle of expansion. So like expansion exists on every plane also. You could go up the planes as well, right? So it just depends on it. Like if there's a deity that only exists for a specific like water spot on Earth, then once you go beyond plane 5, you're not going to see that deity because that spot is not in plane 5. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're like in the unless you're in like 5D Earth, you could say, right? Um, but yeah, so but you can perceive them mentally, visually, etherically, right? Through, emotions and whatnot. But the principles themselves still exist on higher planes. Because, like, when you get to higher planes, perception changes, Like, you don't even operate with like thoughts in higher planes. Like, you kind of just like know things and you just like perceive and experience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, last year was a good coach and like, yeah, that's what's up. Does every touch of being a soul on the other side know about Earth? I can't. I actually, I have no idea. I have no idea. Like, I would like to say yes, but probably not. To be honest, like, there's probably beings that, like, there's probably so right now, right? Although we have an eternal spirit, we chose to manifest even lower into eventually becoming human beings, right? Now, in plane number 8, you were like part of a family of eternal spirits. I'll just call like those are like celestial families where like your spirit is a part of a family of other spirits. But if you got to Earth, you at some point split from that family. I bring this up because there are certain forms of consciousness that stay inside the family and operate as a family. That's where you get like your celestial gods, your titans, and though these are different from deities. You know what I'm saying? Like a celestial god would be like, so let's say there's me and my boy Cash. Me and Cash are part of the same oversoul. You feel me? We're part of the same spiritual family, right? I'm an individual being, he's an individual being, but we're both inside the same family, right? Right now on Earth, we are choosing to be separate from that family. However, we could exist in plane 8 and choose to operate as one family, operate as like one consciousness, right? That would be us acting like a celestial god, you see, or a titan, depending on what we're doing. If we're creating, celestial god, destroying, titan, right? I bring this up because there's likely beings, or there's likely, I'll just say, consciousnesses that like formed inside of plane 10 and never manifested lower. So those ones likely wouldn't know about Earth. They would just be existing inside their own primordial realm because plane number, it tells you get primordials. You get these massive groups of consciousness that are forming out of infinite chaos. At one point, that was you. It's just that you manifested further down. Some of these consciousnesses, they stay in plane 10 and experience themselves as their own realm or reality or whatnot. Those ones might not know about Earth. So I can't say that everybody on the other side knows about Earth. I'm not fully sure. Maybe like, because a soul is when you get to play number 5, right? So maybe like if you talk about souls specifically, then maybe, but I can't fully say that. Yo, what's poppin'? Shout out to Arizona, bro. When you say body, do you mean the character, literally the body? Because I heard the flesh can have its own mind kind. Yeah. So when it comes to body, soul, spirit, right? So let me pull up this chart, right? Although the physical body exists right here, I classify all these as your body because your body has its own intelligence. You feel things inside of your body and stuff like that. Play number 3 is where you form your character. You form your sense of self. You form your self image and your worldview. And then this begins to affect how the body acts. Your body has its own innate intelligence that lets it survive and stuff like that. And this is influenced by your character. You know what I'm saying? Like your character is the bridge between your body and your soul, because your soul could either be stuck observing the character and then feeling the body, operating through the body, or your soul can become aware of itself existing beyond the character, but your character is the interface between your body and your soul. Any new insights on the motherfucker with the hoods? Not ones that I'm willing to share because it's not fully grounded as truth yet. And I don't want to put some shit out there have to backtrack it later. Do you align with the idea that there are 13 creators of the concept, like realms 1 through 12? Like, I won't say that I don't. I'll say it like this. What I do know for a fact is that 12 main aspects of source make reality, right? Now, as far as there being 12 souls, like a soul like me and you, are they souls like me and you? I don't know. It's possible that certain souls were embodiments of those 12 or 13 main or 12 aspects of source, 13th being the source, right? So I will say that when it comes to like 13, when it source would be 13 would be the source, you know what I'm saying? But as far as it being 12 creators, when people say that there's 12 souls or 13 souls, I haven't experienced that. Doesn't mean that it's not true. It very well can be. I just haven't interacted with those beings, but I have been told and shown how you could say source consciousness splits itself off into 12 aspects, and those 12 aspects make up reality, and those 12 aspects exist inside of us, right? The 13th being the source, you know? So I do know that. And although I'm saying 12 different beings or different cultures might give it a different number. Some might say it's 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you have Gemini, right? Gemini is a certain zodiac sign. But there's different aspects of Gemini. So instead of having Gemini with different aspects, you might just split off the different aspects of Gemini to two separate beings. Same with Cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like one part of Cancer can be very emotional. The other part could be very attached to things. That all fits under Cancer. But if you wanted to, you could separate that. You have one principle that's all about being emotional and nurturing. The other one's about being very fucking attached and mentally obsessive and shit. You know what I'm saying? So some beings or some people might split up principles in different ways. But there is one way of viewing creation where they see it as 12 main principles. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to Gnostics, they have 30 aeons and then other beings that form out of that. You feel me? How do I speak to source? So when you watch my video called Source Doesn't Talk or something like that. Because you don't really talk to source how you think, because source is not a being. Now, if there is like, because the belief, I know where it comes from, right? I know it comes from a certain out of body explorer. You know what I'm saying? And one of my boys, my boy Alchemist, I think he's verified it as being like these 13 souls. You know what I'm saying? Um, so like off of like that's my boy and I trust my boy. So I mean, off of his word, this 13 beings also. Like I said, I haven't like experienced that yet. I haven't even tried to be honest. I've just done different things and I've been shown different things, right? But let me go to my YouTube and see what that video title is. But anyway, if you see it as 13 souls, right? And the 13th exists outside the construct, well then just go outside the construct, right? That's how you would do that, considering that this is how this really works. You feel me? Um, I won't say that I agree or disagree with that. It just depends. Can y'all see any of my stats? That's too important. Nah, this is good. I bet. This video right here. Source doesn't talk, but this does. I recommend watching really all these fucking videos. I might make a fucking playlist called Source Consciousness. Watch these vids to understand what source actually is and how it interacts with you. Because people treat source as if it's God, right? People say, I don't believe in God, but I believe in source. And it's the same fucking concept, just a different label. That let me grow up though. Basically, souls should not worship anything, right? Not even source, because we are source, right? Yeah, we shouldn't. And I guess, but let's look at the word worship in Hebrew though, because in this form you could worship yourself. I made a video about actually. Let me first pull this up. Worship. All right. I have a video that is called "Worship Thyself" and where worship went wrong and what it's meant to do. You feel me? This was an annoying. This experience was hilarious. I partially remember this shit. These motherfuckers said I worship the devil. LOL. Pull that up real quick. But yeah, when it comes to worship, let's look up now the Hebrew worship Hebrew. Because I think it means to submit to bow. Yeah. So worship means to bow down, to stoop, or to prostrate oneself in powerful reverence and submission. You can worship your spirit in the sense that you bow down to, or you allow your flesh to bow down to and submit to your spirit, submit to your higher will, because you are your spirit and your body should obey your spirit. I won't say should, but let me not say should. It's whatever the fuck you want to do, right? But it's best if you want to live if you want to live in higher realities of life, you should make your body submit to your spirit. You feel me? So this is okay if you make your body submit. If your body worships your spirit, that's cool, because your body's a temple for your soul and your spirit. You feel me? So in that sense, that's fine. But like worshiping beings and shit, fuck no. Fuck no. Let's pull the background back up and go back to our chats, shall we? Go back to our chats, shall we, guys? Let's look at them chats. Let's look at them chats, man. What is the experience of playing Nine like? Depends on how you experience it. But if you experience it visually, I have a video about this too. This is fucking. I'm saying this is just Genie Dot pulls up old videos time. This happens. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk about it here too, but let me find a video real quick. Let me see. Was it uploaded? Oh, this isn't published though. Well, if I'm looking at other Jones. Let me pull up this real quick. This video is not uploaded. This was like a draft that I made. I didn't like this video, so I made a different one. But Divine Order speaks on 9D wisdom, 9D consciousness, walking with the gods. This talks about 9D awareness. Let me find the actual video I was thinking about though, real quick. What would that John be called? What would I call that? Like maybe like Kingdom. Nah. Let me go to my astral projection playlist because I have a video where I explained how I entered into plane 9 and what it looked like. And I know that I most likely put that. Then this playlist got 95 videos. Holy fuck. Niggas be asking me for all this astral shit. Nigga, it's a playlist with 91 bits, nigga. But anyway, um, let's sort this. How do we sort it by recent videos? I can't do that. Here we go. I can't do that. God damn it. All right. Let me just do it on YouTube. I'm trying to get to other questions too and shit like that. I just want to find this video, bro. But I'll just it's so 90, right? If you go there, if you go there in the astral plane, it can manifest you as a giant golden kingdom that contains it's literally it's like a visual manifestation of the template of reality, and it's shown as a kingdom, like a giant empire or a giant imperium, due to the fact that kingdoms are used so like if there is a kingdom, that kingdom is like a governing body, right, that has dominion over the land that it exists on, you see, and that kingdom makes the laws, they make the rules and stuff like that. It's like the template for the country, you essentially, right? So play number 9 is where you get the divine omniversal template. It's where you get the template of all creation. And when you go there, you can experience this giant golden kingdom that will have just different sections of reality inside of it, especially in their most perfected state. Now, there are certain realms that exist in planes 9 through 11. One of them is like this Omniversal Hall of Records. That place has like a lot of, it's like a very cloudy place, lots of like pinks and like these like white buildings and libraries and shit. You feel me? Yeah. When you tap into plan number 9, you pretty much understand the different underlying frameworks of creation. You feel me? All right, bet. Um, Now let me sort this playlist from date published. Here it is. I left my body and found the blueprint of reality. This video, I break down my experience going to plane number 9 in the astral, or at least one of my experiences going there. Let's pull up some more chats. I notice I'm growing spiritually or mentally. I don't know, or just changing. I find myself wanting less things around me, like living very minimal, having a very yeah. That tends to happen. Yeah, because a lot of shit that we get is attached to certain identities that may no longer serve us. Like for example, with me, right? Used to love Beyblades. You feel me? Used to love Beyblades. Now I don't got no goddamn Beyblades. You feel me? Because that part of me is not really in like the part of me that loves Beyblades is just not there no more. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I would play that. Like, let's say, like, I ain't gonna lie. One day, I might have to buy me and my girlfriend some Beyblades actually, and let it rip. I ain't gonna cat. That probably would be dope as shit. I ain't gonna lie. But other things, though, right? For me, Beyblades, I might have to keep that around actually. You know what I'm saying? But nah. You get the point though. It's like, yeah, like a lot of stuff that you'll have around you is really just like clutter that has nothing to do with your soul or spirit. You're like, oh, I don't even need this shit, bro. I'm just get that out of here. Is Earth really all it's cracked up to be out? Are we just biased because this is where we are, so we perceive it as a big deal? I'm thinking there are planets billions of years older than Earth. Earth is cranked up. Earth is exactly what is cranked up to be because Earth is kind of like the capital of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way is like the capital of the universe. The universe was meant to allow. What first things first, if I haven't seen this video, which I know some of y'all didn't, based upon some of y'all questions, I know y'all didn't see this video. Um, Not your question specifically, but someone there's a specific question I'm thinking of where if this video of mine got watched, it probably wouldn't be asked unless the concepts of the video flew over people's head. But this video right here explains the multiverse, right? What that shit actually is. You feel me? If for all the people that like to talk about the construct and shit like that, after watching, or either watch this video first and then this next video, or watch this next video, then this video. But watch this video, right? About the multiverse, right? And then for all the people that's like, well, how does that link into the construct and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Universal construct. You feel me? Watch this video. It makes shit make way more sense. You feel me? And it also goes into why I don't even like saying that as a construct. Because like when people hear like I just don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? I like saying it as planes of existence. And even then, like although I talk about planes, I also am aware that shit's not stacked on top of each other. Everything's inhabiting the same space. You feel me? Like the way that I really see reality is more just that everything kind of really just is, you know what I'm saying? But to give structure to my teachings, I like to use different frameworks to teach that help people to understand certain concepts until they experience it for themselves and whatnot. But I bring that up because Earth, or the universe itself, is where different space-time continuums collapse into one space-time continuum, you know? The Milky Way combines, like there's so many different kinds of beings that live in the Milky Way. Like there's actually galaxies that will have like all octopus beings. You know what I'm saying? But this galaxy has pretty much every kind of being that exists that lives in, every being that exists in space and time. You can find one of them inside the Milky Way. Like you have octopus spots, squid spots, you have humanoid tarantula spots, like all that shit. You feel me? But then on Earth, you have all those beings that live on one planet. Because like when you go to like certain dimensional spaces and worlds that have like so there's certain galaxies that might have all octopus beings, but then inside the Milky Way there are star systems and planets that have all octopus beings, right? But then this planet has octopus beings plus other beings too. It combines literally everything. This is the planet where all shit is condensing into one. Like for real. Because life on other planets tends to not be physical. Or it was physical back in the past, but now all life exists there astrally. Because now you go to other planets, like if you go to a lot of other planets right now physically, you probably won't see shit there. But if you go there in the astral, shit is lit. Like this planet is like where most physical incarnations happening nowadays. You feel me? Maybe back in the past, yeah, you had some places that were that had physical life, but that shit was like millions of years ago. You feel me? And now all those beings are here, or at least watching over this spot. They want to come here at some point when disclosure happens. You feel me? So yeah, Earth is lit, and it's cranked up to what it's cranked up to be is pretty much what it is. Can bro reality? I want to ask source for Grissom. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Can't do that now. If you want to speak to your creator, speak to yourself because you created yourself. You are your own creator. See, here's the thing, right? People really have a hard time grasping eternity. Eternity means that you have always existed and you always will exist. Source is less of a being and more of a place that we all come from and that we have always been inside of. We just chose to leave that place to experience separate creation. When we were inside that place that we call source, we were all just one. We still had individuality, but we were just kind of just chilling in this one place. But now that we're in creation, we can build several places. You see? So source is less of a being and more of a place that you come from and that you have always existed. You are your own creator. You know what I'm saying? You made your soul. And then your soul manifested inside of a body. Because I heard that there are many more constructs. This one's unique. We are able to create the construct. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all those other constructs only exist. The lowest they go down to is the astral. You know what I'm saying? Like the word, like here's what a construct is. Well, when people are talking about constructs, they're talking about different space-time potentials, right? Those constructs are just different potentials of space and time that different souls can create. But all those potentials of space and time eventually collapse into the universe, into this universal construct. This is the main one where all shit collapses into one. You feel me? Chill. I'm on security time and like Gina, I can't smart. Yeah. I'm saying you gotta be careful, right? Next be asking for. See, it's like the most I'm gonna give is my big three, and I ain't even giving my big three. You feel me? When you said after, that reminded me of the one vine where the guy is after. Oh fuck the baby. Okay, then we will talk about them some other time. I don't know what you mean by secrecy timing. He ain't trying to reveal it. You feel me? Switching out in the public on the Genie dot stream? Nah. What's the average rank? I don't think you can really do that. I don't think that you can do that. That's one. This is what we mean about everyone's unique, right? Although we come from the same source, our experience and creation is very unique. You know, I don't think there's like a set number. Like on average, souls incarnated 5 times. Like I don't think you could do that. Nah, there could be, but I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Genie, I feel like I used to have really good melodies when I was younger. I don't know. I can't tell to the phone anymore. It says, or maybe I remember myself better than I was. I don't know. It could be that second one, but but in the event that it's not, because even if it is the second one, you can still get to a state where you feel like your melodies are fucking fire. You feel me? What I would recommend doing is get into a decent meditative state. 5-10 minutes, just meditate, right? And then begin to think back to when you were a kid producing those melodies. Think about how you felt, think about how you used to think, and then simply just begin to readopt those feelings and ways of thinking inside your life right now. And then try to make melodies, and it should be better. So all these things are real, right? Incarnation planning, gender selection, before incarnation, life review, soul contracts, soul groups, etc. Yes and no. Probably not how you're thinking about it. Like not every single soul selects their gender. Different. So some souls have more choices than other souls. Because here's what happens, right? Here's what happens. You feel me? When people pass away, they don't immediately just leave the construct, right? Or let me say, fuck the, I hate the terminology. They don't leave space and time, right? Because like I said, all these constructs are just different space-time potentials, right? When you first pass away, you don't inherently leave space and time. You just go to the astral plane, right? Or yeah, you go to the astral plane. You could say the etheric plane, but it's like the etheric layer of the astral, right? You go to the astral plane. You see what I'm saying? From there, you can either transcend space and time, or you might go to higher layers of space and time where you just exist in space and time, but in a higher form. You might choose to reincarnate. Different things can happen. So I say this because there are some souls that pass away, but they're not really that conscious of who they are. So because of that, when they reincarnate, they're not as conscious when doing it. They still make the choice in some kind of way, but they're not consciously making these choices. So when you were first a soul outside space and time, you had way more of a choice. But as you got in, I'm not saying you, but as people started living inside space and time and then passing away inside space and time, people had less and less of a choice. Some people have choices, other people don't. Just depends on how conscious you are when you die. You know what I'm saying? Life review, that's a pretty general thing. I've heard someone say that you can skip your life review, which technically you could, but you're likely not because souls naturally like to reflect on their experience. You know what I'm saying? like part of coming here is the fact that you wanted to have an experience. Why would you not reflect on that? Doesn't really make any sense, right? I'm saying like people will have good times in their life, then reflect on the good times. It's like nostalgia and shit. You feel me? So, um, yeah. So life review, like we have that all the time. Whenever you think about a past event in your life, you are reviewing your life. That's a life review. So yeah, that happens to pretty much everybody. Soul contracts, yeah, I'll say soul agreements, right? You make agreements with certain souls that you may or may not, because you don't have to fulfill these contracts. You just make agreements and you might just fulfill them or cancel them out. Take your word back. Soul groups and so there are oversouls in the sense that your spirit, which is beyond your spirit is a part of a greater family of spirits. But then there's also soul groups in the sense that your soul might choose to incarnate with a certain group of other souls. That is a thing as well. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. What is the purpose behind hyperphantasia? I've heard this word before. I used to know what this was. What the fuck does this mean again? Nigga, y'all hit me with the big words. Hyperphantasia. Let's look at what that means. What is that? Wow. Hyperphantasia is a cognitive trait characterized by extraordinarily vivid mental imagery that can rival real sensory perception. So shit is so real in your head that you think that is really fucking real in reality. Okay, now you're saying the purpose of it. I think that was the question, right? Yeah, what is the purpose of it? I wouldn't even think that like the way that I would think about that, I wouldn't think it was like that fucking bit. I don't think that there's like this one overarching purpose of why that thing exists. Like you might just have this for several different reasons. Whether it's because of your brain chemistry, whether because you have a soul that is naturally good at visualization, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that there's different reasons why somebody could have that. How should it be used? I don't think it should be used in one way in particular. You should just use it and use it to your best benefit. Visualize powerfully with it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Feel me? LOL, bro. Have you ever had a session with someone and viewed a life form you've never seen in their field? Yes. I ain't gonna lie. I be learning about fucking history. I be learning about fucking Earth history and galactic history through my clients. I'm like, I've never seen this before. So yeah, this does happen. You know what I'm saying? Hi, when I pull guidance cards asking for guidance, are the messages come from my spirit guides or just from me, like my energy? It depends. This is where intention really does matter because it can be spirit guides, it can be your own energy reflected on the cards. It could be when I say your own energy, I mean like your present energy on earth right now. It could be influencing the cards. It could be that your spirit is doing it for you. It can be that you're just connecting with certain aspects of this field that we exist inside of. You're tapping into certain intelligences that exist inside the field that align with your question. Like when you ask certain questions, how can I put this? When you ask certain questions, there are certain intelligences. For this example, think about them as different streams of thinking, or there's just information in the field of creation that can best answer your question. And that information, that intelligence might move through you in order to help you pull cards. So, like if you ask about what should I do, there's certain information in the field that has the answer for that, and it kind of just moves through you, and then you pull the cards. So it really just depends. You need intention's important with this for sure. Like when I pull cards, I'll get inside of a person's energy and I'll try to connect with their spirit. Like it's like I'll connect with depend. It also depends on the reading. Like if I'm doing a reading for like what this person's going through, I just feel their energy and then let their energy color the cards. If it's like different messages for them, I'll either connect with their spirit or I'll connect with their spirit guides and then I'll pull the cards. You feel me? So you know anything about how the Milky Way and Andromeda are supposed to represent divine feminine? I'm pretty sure I heard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I talked about this too. Yeah, yeah. In fact, you could say that in higher planes, at one point, the Milky Way and Andromeda were actually one galaxy, which is why they are colliding right now. And there are a few days later, I seen a YouTube short where it says that in a billion years, those two, yeah, they're gonna collide for sure. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, bro. That's for sure. You say our purpose is to follow what we would like to do. I love running fast, want to run track, but my life has so many ebbs and flows. There's no chance. Yeah. So your purpose is just what you want to do. Now, before you find out what you want to do, you got to find out who you are. You feel me? I'm not saying that you don't actually want to run track. You know what I'm saying? That could be what you want to do, but you got to just first find out who you truly are. You know what I'm saying? And then find out what that wants to do. I'm white, but I feel like I was black in previous life urges. I don't know. I dated a black man, married a black man, Miss Child. What's your view on that? It's possible for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's possible. You feel me? If you feel drawn to that for like no apparent reason, then like probably because like there's some people who might get born on Earth. Like let's say me, I might be like, oh, I feel like I was Asian, but that's just because I like their culture. You know what I'm saying? Like I might think that Asians are cool, so I want to be one. But like, let's say I love Asians and I don't know shit about their culture. It's like I just feel drawn to that. Yeah. Like if you just feel drawn to it, like beyond just like what like you probably have been that. I wouldn't doubt it. You feel me? Especially when it's like an unnatural or not saying unnatural, but it's like a pull. Like I just feel drawn to this for no apparent reason, or for several reasons that just like don't even make logical sense. Yeah, there's probably something there. Who or what do you believe is God? What do you mean out of life is your guru? Okay, so you must have came late inside the stream, so let me help you. So a guru is someone that has a certain level of mastery. Actually, let's use Google's definition now. Actually, just because I already did my definition. Let's do Google's guru definition. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I thought it would pull up. A spiritual teacher, a trusted mentor, or an expert in a specific field. Yeah, that part. I was talking about this part more. You know what I'm saying? But the word guru means dark or gu. Okay, so it means dispeller of darkness from Sanskrit, right? So yeah, the literal meaning is like a spiritual teacher, someone that helps dispel darkness, right? I'm using it to just mean like literally any expert in a certain field, right? Now, life is a guru because life is your spiritual teacher. Living life will teach you certain shit about spirituality. You know what I'm saying? And just other things too. Like, let's say you want to become like a fucking chef. Life will teach you how to become a chef. Life will do that. Life is your guru. Even when you meet physical people, those physical people are embodiments of certain principles of life. I feel that I am physically communicating with someone I know on the other side. So how do I know when I'm in OBE that I meet that being for real, or if it's just my mission in dimensional space? Um, over, um, over time, you kind of just know. This is something that first I've one of my students in my Astro Mastery course, she used to ask me that question. Now she don't ask me that question. She's just left so many tons that she kind of knows. Like for her, like for her, like the eyes sometimes they kind of feel like dead energies. You'll just know over time. But I'll just say for now, right? Whether it's a thought form or not doesn't inherently matter. What matters is what it's telling you. If it's telling you shit that's accurate and it's amazing, does it really matter who's telling it to you? You feel me? Like for example, let's say I want to let's say I want to develop a certain skill. Let's say I want to get better at leaving the body. Let's say I then leave my body and talk to a being that gives me the exact sauce that I needed to leave my body more effectively. Does it really matter if it's a thought form or an actual being? Not inherently, because the information still worked. You know what I'm saying? So for now, I would say just interact with it and just see what vibes you get. Then over time, you'll get more of a understanding of how these different things feel. Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Or my fault. Yeah, because I'm like, this makes no sense. Other times I'm like, that feels like that came from something else. I always ask for spirit. I feel you on that. Yeah, yeah, it'd be like that for sure, for sure. I have a hard time conceptualizing how slash why Earth would be the. Okay, so yes, I've been told that. So, like I was trying to tell you before, right? There's certain galaxies, because like I said, the universe combines everything into one. That's what the Earth does. There's certain galaxies that have only octopus beings. I've actually experienced that. There's certain galaxies that are only water galaxies. There's certain galaxies that only have like dragon beings, right? Now, in this Milky Way, the Milky Way is the capital of the universe, and then Earth is the capital of the Milky Way. Why? Because the Milky Way combines everything into it. So, opposed to having a galaxy that has only octopus beings or only dragons or only fish beings, this galaxy has every single being. However, inside the galaxy, inside this galaxy, you can find a planet that has all octopus beings, a planet with all squid beings, a planet with all feline beings, right? But then on Earth, you have everything. You got humans, lions, jaguars, squids, octopus, crocodiles, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Plus, you have different atmospheres on Earth like jungle biomes, water biomes, right? Deserts, ice spots. There's planets that are just all ice, all water, all volcano. Earth has everything. Literally. Earth has everything. Even physically, it has everything. But when you start going to the higher layers of the earth, what people call the realms, right? You see all these different kinds of other beings too, and they all exist here. You feel me? So Earth combines everything, all the different beings, all the different biomes, everything you could find out there, you could pretty much find it on Earth, whether it exists here physically or in the astral layer of the Earth. No, I did not. No, fucking hell, bro. You're not making this isn't because of you, but I keep bro. The 12 planes are not the same as the realms. Can we please understand that? Shit. Fuck. Shit. Um, but primordials, right? So primordials, I wouldn't even say primordial dragons and snakes, right? Primordial, right? How I'm using it. Actually, let's look at the word. Let's look at the definition of the word primordial, right? Cool. But yeah, the planes are not the realms. I need y'all to stop doing that. Please stop. I gotta at this point, it's my fault. It's my fault, right? At this point, I gotta make a video that's called the 12 planes versus the 12 realms. Have I not? I don't think I've done that yet. Although I say it in my videos where I talk about the 12 planes, I'd be like, gang, these is not the 12 realms. You know what I'm saying? But I got to make a separate video for that because realms, planes, and dimensions are all different. You feel me? Dimensions help to structure realms inside of planes. But let me check something real quick. By the way, that reaction was not towards the person who asked that question. This is me getting upset at myself for not making a separate video that already covers this shit. Yeah. Yeah. Where the fuck is here it is. Okay, cool. So inside this playlist, I have you know what? Nah, I do have this video though. Understanding planes versus realms versus dimensions. This would be a good video for a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yo, thank God this didn't show my revenue. I didn't even check that. Yo, this I could have exposed my revenue on this bitch. I'm wilding. But yeah, so now the word primordial, right? Cool. Oh, wrong thing. Bow. Primordial means existing from the very beginning, first created, or basic and fundamental. So primordials, right? Primordials refer to different groups of consciousness that form out of infinity. You see? So, and by the way, I broke this down in other videos too. Here's a good video for you that you probably would really like for your plans and shit. Broke this shit down amazingly good. The omniversal dream of creation. Yep. This video right here, I broke that shit down. You know what I'm saying? This video right here, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, and then there's also other videos in my structure of reality play. Oh, there's another one too. I think it's called like Awakening Divine Origins, right? Let me check real quick. Here it is. Yeah. This one too broke some of that shit down inside this one as well. You feel me? But so in order to understand primordials, let's talk about the other planes, right? So let me pull up the planes picture real quick. Bow. Why can we not see it? What the hell? Oh, because it's oh, that's the wrong planes picture. I'm wilding. It's this one. Okay, bow. So plane number 12, right? It's a field of pure awareness. And by the way, 12 is not the primordial, 10 is the primordial, not 12. 12 is a field of pure awareness, right? Pure awareness, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Plane number 11 is the absolute plane. This is where awareness begins to perceive itself as the infinite and as the void. At some point, that infinite potential begins to express itself. You get the primordial plane. These are the first consciousnesses to form out of infinite chaos. So primordial means existing from the very beginning or first created. These were the first groups of consciousness to form out of infinite potential. And by the way, you at one point were a part of this, right? Like you formed out of infinity with a group of other eternal spirits. You know what I'm saying? So primordials are just groups of consciousness that form out of infinite chaos, which you have been that before. Technically, you still are that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Yeah. Hope that made sense. Hope that made sense. I gotta actually make my screen full screen, then pull the chat back up. All right. In that case, then there's lots where misunderstanding, but think about it. If out of galaxies, Earth is only unique one. It's not the only unique one. That's not how that works. No. So the word unique, right? Let's pull that word up now because it's not the only unique one. Like everything's unique, but it's this Earth is unique for a certain reason. You feel me? So unique definition, right? Wow. Cool. The word unique means being the only one of its kind. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Earth is unique in the sense that this is the only planet of its kind, but there's other planets that are also unique, right? Like there's only one Jupiter, you know what I'm saying? You know, there's only one Jupiter. You feel me? So that Jupiter is also unique, right? So we're not saying it. So it's not that all other planets are not unique. It's just that this one is unique for a specific kind of reason. I was saying, for instance, people like Tanya thinks everything else is within the physical besides also our renderings. That I mean, technically that's true, right? Just like what is right. I love definitions are really important. I say I love this. All right, because everything is rendered into your experience, my friend. You know what I'm saying? So What does the word render actually mean? The word render means to cause, to become, show, or create or melt down, right? That's what render means. To cause, to become, show, or create or melt down. Now, reality is constantly being rendered in your experience right now. It's constantly being shown to you. You are interpreting reality with form, although underlying this is energy. And energy is inherently formless, but you're perceiving it with form. Right now is rendering into your experience with form. Right now, you're not seeing pure energy. You're seeing different forms of energy rendered into your experience. So the physical plane is rendered into your experience. Everything's rendered to your experience. Everything is. You know what I'm saying? People hear that word and think that, oh, like this means that like things that are rendered are like not real, and then like it's like a video game where like you walk further and like it's not this crazy deep concept, bro. It just means that things are being revealed to you as you perceive them. As you see reality, it gets shown to you. It gets rendered into your experience. You know what I'm saying? Everything's rendering. Everything. Um Out of an infinite number of planets, there's some of what he's saying might be true. I mean, not, people don't resonate because they don't know what rendering means. You know what I'm saying? You probably know now, but like, yeah, before this, people think this crazy off-world concept of like rendering means that these other things are like not actually there, but then like they come to us, and it's like it's not that deep. It's not that deep. But Earth is very unique. Jupiter is also unique, but just not for the same reasons as Earth. You know? Yeah. One more time again. Can you please say how to know who you are? Meditation, getting into your spirit, worshiping as yeah, you know what I'm saying? Literally, I have a whole and this is where a lot of my playlists, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you already get the point, my guy. But for other people that don't know, right? There are two specific playlists for you that can help you on my YouTube channel. So you have this one, reawakening to your spiritual nature. And then you also have this one, spiritual basics. This has 70 videos, bro. 70 videos inside of it, gang. This is all y'all niggas need right here. Shit. $70 videos, huh? Holy fuck. Hey, man. Yeah, everything you need. In fact, let me add this is a good time to insert some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a good time to end. If y'all feel like y'all want to work, because I could work with you one on one, and we could get this shit squared away really easily. You feel me? Simply, which is actually let me do one thing first, right? Dot me now dot square dot site. Cool. Okay. So right here, right. This session can help you, the 30-minute or 1 hour, and so can this one too. These four right here, you know what I'm saying? You want to find out who you are and all that type of shit, these will help you right here, right? Soul reading is more about like tapping into your soul's history, you know what I'm saying? Soul's blueprint, purpose, all that shit. Realigning with your spirit might have aspects of that. Past lives might pop up, you know what I'm saying? Purpose will likely pop up. But this is more about how to actually align with your spirit, like what you can do specifically to align with your spirit. This one's like understanding your soul and like who you are. This one's how to align with who you are. You know what I'm saying? You see it like that. Now, if you want like a more like long-term thing, this I'm telling you, this shit is insanely valuable, but it can be expensive for some of y'all. So I don't recommend that everyone cops this. But pay hip. All right. So let me pull that up, pull this up. If you want like some quick ass, like I want to get in tune really quick, I want to know shit really quick. I'm offering this 2-week spiritual accelerator You know what I'm saying? It comes with 2 1-hour coaching calls. It comes with unlimited Telegram support throughout the program. You get practices, routines, and reflections that are for you personally. It comes with soul readings, astrology readings, all this type of shit, and it has a final integration call. You feel me? I broke down the structure of what the weeks are going to look like down here. You know what I'm saying? This will help you gain clarity and connect with your spirit. This will help you to build momentum and make long-term progress in the future. You know what I'm saying? This is going to cost 285. But if you were to book the calls, if you were to book the calls separately, it would cost you around 435 to 470. You know what I'm saying? Because this is including 2 1-hour calls and like 1 30-minute call. All that together would be around this much. You feel me? But I'm only charging 285. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. If you want to get more in depth, you feel me? We got the 1 month alignment coaching. You feel me? Week 1 is all about discovering your soul's direction. Week 2 is building your spiritual foundation. Week 3 is how to embody your authentic self. Week 4 is how to create your long-term path. And this one, and there is an optional 2 weeks after that. If you feel like you need an extra, although you shouldn't need an extra 2 weeks, you could buy an extra 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So although I'm charging 500, if you were to buy, because this comes with 4 1-hour phone calls and then one 15 to 30-minute call, that would cost you around 805 to 840 if you bought all the calls separately. But if you get it all together, it's only 500. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to work with me more long term and you feel like you want to spend some money and shit like that, I got you. And this will be really good. This is great. I've been doing it with some people and I actually really enjoyed this. Like I actually want to make this look at one of my main coaching things because it's so fun to do and it's so yeah, I love it a lot. Now, although I haven't released this to the public, if any of you do want to sign up for this, y'all can email me. My email should be in the description of this video right here, which is axjada@gmail.com. Hit me up. I can send you the link. We could talk about how to get started. And this is so dope because when you actually get the coaching, um, you get access, like, so you'll see like when you first sign up and stuff like that, you at some point enter into a page that has different milestones, right? The first milestone tells you like, welcome to week 1, we're going to cover this, book your call down here, right? After we have our call, I put all your notes inside the website. Like there's actually like an AI note taker that takes notes and it's going to give you the objectives that we covered, questions that we answered, different practices I gave you. Like the shit is super structured and you have that for your whole entire life. So like even after the coaching, you could just refer back to that shit and say, bam, you feel me? And I do combine astrology with this too, because I actually use your birth chart plus my own intuitive abilities. You know what I'm saying? It's actually like I promise you this shit is really good. You feel me? But only buy that if you have like the money for that. If not, just book like a 1 hour or 30-minute session with me individually and we could get you right. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But even with all this stuff on my YouTube, if you watch those 2 playlists I showed you, you could do all this shit for yourself for free. You only book with me if you want to get like a quicker, because like with me, it might be a bit quicker. Like, I'm like, I can help you fast forward a bit faster. You know what I'm saying? All the information is structured for you, but like you don't need to buy from me. You don't have to do that. If you want to work with me, go ahead. But if you don't want to do that, just watch my shit for free. You could get all the information that you need for free. You know what I'm saying? Bro, there's no way for real, bro. Okay, why you having trouble with it, bro? Like what's causing the issue there? You feel me? Like, is it like an error, or you just can't find where it's at? Because you gotta walk. Because if you can't find where it's at, we gonna walk you through it right now. Like I'm gonna have you pull up your website for my course and then walk you through how to get to that. But if it's like some other issue, let me know. You feel me? That shit wow. Um, have you ever spoke to your cat psychically? Yes. Recently, I've been doing that a lot more. It's been interesting. In the video, said it go to the, I don't see in the description. So you talk about, okay. All right, bro. Pull up, if you're still here, bro, pull up your website right now. You feel me? Pull up your website right now. We're gonna get to the bottom of this shit right now. You know, wait a minute. I can't fully show everything because then people will be able to see the link. All right, let me actually finesse a little bit. All right, but pull up your shit right now. You feel me? We're gonna get you right, my guy. I got you. You feel me? As a student, bow. Conclusion, how to join. Literally, okay, so I gotta find out how to block this real quick. Ooh, what if? Nah, I could do this though, right? Let me do this. Right? Let me do a different picture though. Let me do this one. All right. Move that over here. Hopefully I don't expose myself. And then if I take this down, right? Good. All right. So gang, what you're gonna do is go to the conclusion section, right? God damn it, there's other shit being shown too. Fuck. Shit. All right. Go to the conclusion section, right? Right now. Like I'm talking to you right now, Mario. You know what I'm saying? I got you, bro. We gonna lock you in. You feel me? Go to the conclusion section, right? Right? Go to the video that is called How to Join My Astral Projection Telegram. In the description, the link is right here. You feel me? The link is right here, my guy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's how you do that. You feel me? And that's for everybody else that has my course and can't seem to find out how to join it. I get it, bro. It's not just you who had the issue, bro. So I had to walk us through. You feel me? Had to walk us through. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to Germany. What's good? On the Axis Monday. I've actually encountered something. I went to a place called Mount Meru, which is seen as an Axis Monday. My perspective of it. Let me just look up something real quick. Also, I'm gonna be getting off of this live stream soon at like 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think my perception. It's a thing you can perceive for sure. I'll say it like that. What was your process on manifesting? I say affirmations, meditate, but I feel like how I feel internally is always the same. How do I feel like I have something after years of resistance? What would you do? Ooh. So for me, when I manifest, I just try to align and then clear out any blocks that prevent me from aligning, which is what you're struggling with right here. If you have resistance, you need to find out where the resistance comes from, like what beliefs you have, which are blocking you from getting into full coherence with a certain thing, what beliefs you have and what identities you have, right? What worldviews you have, ways that you see yourself that might be holding you back. You need to essentially look at that, right? Opposed to saying affirmation, because affirmations are great when they're so imagine this, right? Imagine that you have a part of your mind that has limiting beliefs. Saying affirmation in the very beginning might not be the best because now you're putting affirmations on top of limiting beliefs. First, you remove the limiting beliefs, then you instill new ones through your affirmations. You see? That's a basic way to say it. However, if you have more questions about that, let me know and I could go a bit deeper. Darius J. Wright talks about original pairs. What are they? I never heard him mention that actually. So that's what so I've heard that term, but it's just not from him. So he's the one that made that term up. Okay. Let me look. I'd have to hear him speak about it to really know. You feel me? This is original pairs. Darius J. Wright. Let's see what AI pulls up. It refers to the such as relationship between the soul. According to Zoe's, such as the exact or pairing of soul cuts design from mutual spiritual he discusses these core issues. Muslim is military, sorry, the creator. So in this sense, nah, this is more like divine counterpart. You know what I'm saying? Twin flames are typically seen as the same soul in two different bodies. What he's describing is two separate souls and how a soul can be with somebody that is its energetic counterpart, or how you can have this is according to the AI at least, right? Um, or there can be souls with a specific soul contract that is designed for mutual awakening. But it sounds like divine counterpart. That's what I'm thinking, divine counterpart. You know what I'm saying? And I have a video about this. Let me type that in. Divine counterparts. This John right here. You feel me? I broke down all that stuff right here. I live with my divine counterpart, if you don't know. Are there any implication if my consciousness, okay, like I said before, we all come from that, right? Like, okay, here's what I need people to understand, right? I need people to understand. You feel me? Let's make this really simple and easy to understand, right? Right now, you are down here. For you to get down here, you have to have first came from up here. Because you first existed as source, right? Then you manifested through all these planes, eventually getting down here. So, like I said when I was describing it, you are part of that primordial consciousness that came out of infinity, right? That would be your primordial family. That's what that is. Your omni soul, right? There's an oversoul and an omni soul, you could say. It's just a primordial family. It's the group of consciousnesses that you were with when you formed out of infinity. We all formed ourselves out of that. You know what I'm saying? Primordials are not like these special beings that you would be honored to come from. Like, no, they're us. You know what I'm saying? It's just us in higher planes. But right now, and it's for us to get to lower planes, we have to be in higher planes first. You feel me? We gotta get not facts for the rendering, John, right? I never got a chance to participate in my purpose. Life has been very difficult. If life typically, if life is throwing you difficulties, that's because there's something that you're meant to learn from it. There might be something that you're missing, which is trying to be shown to you through these lessons. Now, I can't always say that, and that's kind of hard to say because some people go through certain difficulties, and it's kind of hard to tell them that, hey, you're missing something. Like that's kind of fucked up. But I'll say that there's some underlying reason behind the different things that happen. And when you understand those reasons and assimilate the lessons of them, things begin to change and those issues begin to transform. I feel like I've done everything like Limitless. I know exactly what mine, where they came from, but how do I release them if not affirming? Constantly, I feel worthy. You just unidentified with them. You know what I'm saying? Like affirming is to build new beliefs. So to get old beliefs, right? Let's say that with me, I had a belief. Let me think the specific words for it because I know I had a lot of blocks when it came to content. Where I can't even think about them because I guess I deleted them so well. Let me think. Because I could think of things to say, but it's not like accurate to like how I really felt when it came to doing content. I'll say I felt like I'll just say that I felt like I wouldn't be able to do this kind of content for different reasons, like whether it was how people might judge me or how people understand information, like whatever it is, right? Over time, I just stopped identifying with those beliefs. Though I'm just like I choose not to believe that, and I start to look at like why those things aren't even true. You know what I'm saying? Like if like let's say it's they're not gonna understand me. Just think about one person that's understood you. Well, then you can assume that other people will too, right? Um, so with limiting beliefs, you just unidentify with them. And also, I'll say also find the source of them too, because there's some limiting beliefs that you might remove, but you didn't get to the source of it. Like some limiting beliefs might come from a childhood experience, right? And although inside your like, let's say you had a childhood, let's say you had a childhood experience where people were laughing at you, and then this built a belief that when you express yourself, people will laugh at you. You might get rid of that belief, but the memory and the experience of it is still there. But when you trace back the source of a belief, you can typically find when you decide to make a certain decision or identify with something. So with the thought of everybody's going to laugh at me or like people laugh at me when I express myself, you made a decision to believe that and identify with that. You identified with the person that gets laughed at when they express themselves because you have a memory where that happened and you took on the identity of I'm the person that gets laughed at when I express myself. So with that being said, when you find the source of it, you can choose to get back into the mindset of that kid version of yourself and just make a different decision to essentially not believe that. And then also think about why that belief isn't even true. And then once you dissolve that, this is when you begin to do affirmations to reinstill beliefs or to instill new beliefs. At that point, it's just about aligning, right? Like if you want money, you got to align with things like that. I mean, I have a video about how to manifest money. You know what I'm saying? So watch that. But like if you want a relationship, you gotta love yourself and love people in your life till you eventually get that, you know? But you can't let the physical world be proof. Like let's say you've been feeling good for a while, but certain things are not happening physically. You cannot let that deter you from how you feel and acting from that feeling. You just need to understand like what the issues are that are popping up and then what are the best ways to navigate them with your current state. You feel me? Is YGG the Rasili? I have no. I want to answer this question real quick. I am a vegan. I'm gonna talk about this more. First of all, what's popping? You know what I'm saying? I think I know who you are. Like I think I know what your face looks like. So this name looks familiar. I think I follow you on Instagram. But I am a vegan. I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna go in depth with my thoughts about it a bit more though as I answer these other questions. So let me look up what this YGG. What the is that? Ah, I saw it. I have seen it, the Norris shit. Okay, let me say this real quick, right? So when you look at these different things, like because like the if you okay, let me just put this up real quick, right? So how the fuck you pronounce this? This is an immense sacred ash tree in Norse cosmology that connects the universe. So here's what this is, right? Is this like a physical tree? No, most likely not. Is this something you can experience out of your body? Yeah, because people have believed this for a while. People that follow the religion of Norse, whatever the fuck, you feel me? They experience this. Same with like if you're Egyptian and you pass away, you go through the judgment of you go through the judgment scene where your heart gets put on a scale and your heart must be lighter than a feather, right? If you believe that, then yeah, like same with these Hindu nine, same with the Hindu 16 lokas, or is it 16? Or is it 14? Either way, if you're a Hindu, you perceive that. So I say this because this is real if you're initiated into that system. When you get initiated to certain systems, you perceive the things of that system, you know? Facts. So it's real and also not real, you could say. Depends on how you define real, you know? Remember that you're on music, you're a brand, you're a pastor, you tells it. Yeah, that's good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, those past stories and shit, that's good. Thank you. Yes, I'm aware of this and believe, but it's the subconscious that's resistance. I struggle with getting. Yeah, if it's the subconscious, yeah, you got to find the deeper memory then. Yeah. That's what you'd have to, you'd have to find that. Although you might see the belief and reprogram it, you need to see where that belief comes from. Because the different limiting beliefs might come from different identities that you have. And although you change the belief, you still have the identity, which is a bit more subconscious. You feel me? Thank you, yes, you're such a I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And my full thoughts on veganism. So I don't think that people have to be vegan. I don't think that if you eat meat that you're a bad person and low vibrational. I don't know. You feel me? Like there's several masters that eat meat and them niggas would fucking levitate your body and throw you across the field, right? So, but I do believe that people should eat what works best for them. I do believe if you consume meat, you should try to do it in the most pure ways. Like get the most purest forms of meat, cleanse the meat from all the negative energy and stuff like that. Because there can be fear and shit inside of meat that is very true. I don't think it's inherently bad to eat meat though. You feel me? There's several people I know who leave their body, talk to spirit guides accurately too while eating meat. I put that last part because there's people that say they leave their body and they talk to guys, but I'm not fully sure if they do. I can't verify. They just say questionable things. You feel me? But I'm not here to judge nobody. My point is the fact that there's people that could verify for a fact that are eating meat and still have different spiritual abilities. Like Ryan Cropper. Ryan Cropper is a go at leaving his body. I've seen him do telekinesis with. I've seen him do pyrokinesis and telekinesis. You know what I'm saying? He showed telekinesis on his website with like knocking over a piece of tinfoil. He eats meat. You feel me? Um, so yeah, I would say that like me, I'm a vegan because I don't meat don't feel good in this body. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even about the animals or about the energy. Nigga, I just that shit wasn't feeling good in my actually let me rephrase that. No. I stopped eating beef because it felt shitty inside my body. With chicken, one day I walked outside, I saw a bunny. But when I saw the bunny, I was like, this bunny's really like alive for real. And I'm like, yo, that chicken was also alive too. And it kind of just bugged my mind out. Like, I don't want to eat that. You feel me? But like before the chicken, other forms of meat was fucking like I wasn't jacking that shit. You feel me? Like I just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like me, that's just not my swag. But like if it's someone else's swag, as long as they're a good person taking care of themselves, they good. You feel me? Yo, Jen, appreciate you, bro. And yeah. It's really it's like a family Discord, bro. Cash is the original maker, but you know what I'm saying? Me and several other people, like my boy Yahoo, you know what I'm saying? It's a family server at this point, you know what I'm saying? Keep your work on just follow your joy, even if it feels stupid. Keep facts. But yeah, I think I can end it. It's 6 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? We've been going on for a little bit now. I think I can end it right here. If you have any last questions, real quick, I'll let you know. Damn, gang. Damn, it hit you like that, gang. That shit, that dumb niggas gave you the notification at the very end of the shit. It's like that. All right, let me say this to you, Jamali. Whenever I go live, it's gonna typically be Mondays and Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You feel me? I'm not saying I'm going live every single Monday and Friday, but Mondays and Fridays at 4 p.m. That is when I'm most liable to go live. You feel me? So since YouTube be on that bullshit, I'm gonna leave you with that, bro. That shit crazy, bro. Bro, that's what I thought you were cash in there. I didn't wrong. That's hilarious, bro. Bro said he thought I was Cash. Hey, that is like a spirit twin of mine. You feel me? That's my light twin. You feel me? I'm the dark twin, right? The introspective, see the hidden parts of reality twin. You feel me? He's like the I'm out there sharing my light twin. You feel me? Oh shit. I'm gonna ask him. I gotta respond to his message anyway. I'm like, yo, did someone DM you asking for me, bro? What did you send to him? That's hilarious, bro. Oh shit. Now that's jokes. That's jokes, bro. I ain't gonna cat. That's hilarious, bro. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end this joint right here though. You feel me? I appreciate y'all for coming and showing support. You know what I'm saying? Um, I might go live again on Monday. I told him we were talking about training on their. I told him we were talking about training on their live. LOL. Yikes. He's probably like, huh? Like Shraggy? You know what I'm saying? I mean, no, the thing is though, but Cash might still know what you was talking about though, possibly. Yo, Ali, I love you too, bro. Yo, I love how you immediately just started making them videos, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about that shit, you just started doing it. I love that shit, bro. And I fuck the videos too, bro. Keep it up, bro. Love you too, my guy. Yeah, I'm gonna end this jump right here. I love all of y'all. I'm gonna catch my next vid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. You be disciplined as hell, bro. You be on it. I love that about you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Really, really inspirational. Um, I'm ending right here. I love y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace out. Yeah, hell, man.